Okay, April 12th, episode 6, starting on this floor. And what I had to do is the piece that I cut out, I had to remove the underside brace from it. So I just cut that off first so that this will lay relatively flat on that portion that I'm going to replace. Let's get the orientation right here. It should be about there. There's a hole. There's a hole. So yeah, that should be about right there. I'll double check it, but in any case, at that point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind along here, and that way I can get a surface to mark with my Sharpie, and hopefully cut this out pretty accurately. I'm gonna make it a little bit large so I have room to trim, because you can always go smaller but you can't go larger. And that's it, yeah, so see you in a bit. Okay, I got all the paint removed on that, so I have an ability to mark it and use this flapping disc here. Remember, Claude and I use that a lot on the truck. It's really good because it doesn't remove too much material like a grinding wheel would, but yet it can remove material, certainly paint. So, all right, going on to the next step. Okay, so this is good here. Got this reference point here in this rib, and it got my holes lined up there. And then this inverted rib sticks down in that mark on the panel as well, like that one. So I believe that's where it's going to be. So like I said, what I'll do is I'll mark it. I'll mark it exactly where the panel is, but when I cut it, I'll come out here a little bit away from it. Maybe, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, to give some room for flexibility. But you can see just how much of it was actually gone. That was the riveted part there. And you can also see back in here, this is where that floor support comes down through, all laid up. This is supposed to have a lip all the way around that slides up underneath the waterfall panel. You can see just how gone that was. So this should make an improvement. Here we go. Okay, I went ahead and marked it just so I'm not trying to eyeball it all the way down. Got a little bit close here, but again, there's a margin of error. So this will give me plenty. I'll cut it on the outside line, obviously, and then I can trim it back as needed. All right, here we go. All right, there it is. Got it cut out. And so because I cut on the outside edge of the line, I have this line here, which is actually the measurement of the panel to reference from for any kind of grinding that's needed to actually fit it in place. So now I'm just going to go dry fit it, see what we have. Okay, it looks like we got a fairly good approximate fit here. Basically where I need to take it off is all along the marking of that line, which will, you know, make that come up in the crack right there. Looks like that's going to marry up. Maybe take a little bit off this corner here, and then I'm going to have to take this line off. You can see where it's down to there. That's where I messed up and started, you know, got off on the cutting and went over to the actual marked line, the original marked line. So obviously that's where I need to come to, so that the whole panel will scoot forward some. So it looks like back here, you know, once I cut that and can get that up in place, this will shift in and I can get a weld in there as well. So, all right, it looks like it's going to work. All right, this stuff isn't for the faint and heart, that's for sure. I've got it trimmed about as good as I can get it. There's Some places the gap is a little bit larger than what I would like here, here, definitely over here. And I've got overlap here, and I've cut that back several times, but I decided to leave it alone because I've got good fit here where it's going to have to be welded as well. And honestly, because I have some gapped areas, I would rather have overlap here so I can have a good surface to weld to, and it is not as likely to burn through. So you know, this is what it is, and when I'm done welding it, I'm going to come back over it with the metal to metal anyway, which is where that stuff shines, just like I'll have to do down here. So again, no worries there because I know the stuff works, and even if I have a crappy weld job in here, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All right, see ya. Okay, this thing is welded in. That took a while. Learned something here that I think I'm going to do going forward, at least on the floor panels, and that is I get way better welds when I have a lap joint like here than I do when I try to butt joint, because if I have any kind of appreciable gap at all, it's just going to blow through. And so I had several areas blow through like here, but where I got a good lap joint was right along here. Got some decent contact here, started to get a little bit of gappy here, but I got a full lap joint here. So I guess at the end of the day, when I cut that panel, while it seemed like it was just right, there was a little bit of disparity, and so in order for me to make things work, I just let it overlap slightly, because what would happen is if I took too much off right here, then I wouldn't have a nice snug fit over here. So, which by the way, that's another point. I've got several good tack welds down through there. What I should have done is, before I put that in, there's a flange on it. I have a tool that I forgot about that that allows you to punch holes. So I should have done spot welds on the underside for that, but this is just as strong, if not stronger, because I got so many of them in there. But in any case, it's fine. It's extremely it isn't going anywhere. I got some good welds, tack welds back here along the waterfall panel. And so now what I'll do is I'll fill this, smooth it anyway, with some metal to metal, which is an aluminum impregnated filler that is used in lieu of, in the old days when they used lead, I guess, to fill. This kind of takes the place of that. So where you have a butt weld like this, that stuff will easily take care of that. It's very strong. And then once I'm done putting that down, I'll come in here and I'll put some seam seal along there. Of course, once this waterfall panel's put in, and once this pillar is welded down, which, by the way, because there's going to be a weld here and welded to the floor, that's yet some more support. And I don't even have the floor support that rides underneath this in yet, but this is already very, very rigid. So anyhow, and of course it'll go in there. You can see where it cut off. It'll come back to right here, which is the body mount, and I'll put my bushings and stuff in there and be smooth sailing. So that's in, and the next step is to I'm going to go ahead and put some primer on it just to keep it from rusting, and then I'll come back over top of it with or no, I won't either. The metal to metal goes right over bare metal. So I'm going to get that, probably go pick that up. I guess I'll go pick that up now, because I could use it for not only that right there, but for where I welded in this patch panel. Now, obviously, when I go to do patch panels on the body, on the outside, you can't do a lap joint, because you know, there's no way to get that down. You have to use a lot of filler. But one thing I wanted to show too is from welding the inside, got good penetration obviously because it's coming all the way out to here, which is fine because that's all going to be you know, blended back and so forth. So that just tells you that you've gotten good penetration. So again, I'm not a professional welder here, so I'm just getting it done. All right, see you guys next time.